Welcome to Financial Focus, brought to you by Gulf Coast Financial Services founder and CEO, John Kuykendall. John and his team of financial, legal, and tax professionals have provided North Florida savers and investors sound, comprehensive financial guidance for over 25 years, helping you to achieve important life and planning goals. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and tune in for more Financial Focus by visiting GulfCoastFinancial.net.
Welcome into the program. This is Financial Focus, brought to you by your resource, ladies and gentlemen, for that common sense approach to planning for your financial investment retirement future. Named Best of the Best in Financial Services by the Lake City Reporter, 6 years and running. They are Gulf Coast Financial Services. Founder, CEO with us as always, John Kuykendall. John, welcome back.
Thank you, Peter. It's great to be here. I'm really excited about today's show. I can't wait to get started and get some great information out there on taxes. I think that's very important, as you know.
Well, we're at kind of the threshold here. Probably half of the audience at least has sort of already filed and sent in those returns. The procrastinators among us, of course, are waiting until a couple weeks from now, but that tax deadline is quickly approaching. So I encourage you not to wait too much longer. But at the end of the day, John, filing the taxes is about last year. It's historic in nature,
right?
Looking back at what already happened. And there at Gulf Coast Financial Services, you guys really take more of a proactive, forward-looking approach to not only the financial management, but managing the tax consequences of our money as well.
Well, that's right, Peter. And that's what we try to do. I mean, what we did in 2020 is already over. That's hindsight. There's nothing we can do about it. As we're looking forward in 2021, what we want to do is sit down with our clients and prospects, our people that are talking about coming to us, and working with them on how we can save taxes this year and have more money in our pocket. An example, I met with a client this morning who was talking about wanting to refinance his house. Should we refinance it? Should we pay it off? How should we do that? And when we sat down and ran through the tax numbers with him, it was obvious that he should continue to pay in the mortgage because we were going to have to take the money out of an IRA, pay taxes. You know how that goes. Got a client coming in tomorrow thinking about buying a piece of real estate, wants us to help him figure out what's the best way to get the money to buy it, and then how much it's going to cost him to do it. And so those are the things that we kind of like to do here.
And that might be a completely different answer. It's all case by case. At the end of the day, John, I think all of us want to morally, legally, ethically pay as little in tax as possible. Don't want to get on the wrong side or the gray area with the folks down at the IRS. But it's a question of, is it best to pay now or pay later? Will I drop tax brackets or income substantially in retirement? And then how can I kind of categorize my income and my assets and investments to be as efficient as possible? Because each tool that's available sort of has some different tax implications. So I guess first and foremost, John, in planning and saving for the long run, we need to first understand where we are today with our taxes, correct?
That's right, Peter. I mean, you know, we're on a progressive tax system. And so every dollar that we take as taxable can put us at another level. So we're going to pay so much at one bracket and then so much in the next bracket. And so we really have to be careful where we are on that tax line and what the implications of what we're going to do is going to cause those taxes to go up. How much can we use in income without triggering other events? But the main thing is I think, and I'll say it over and over again, and I think we say it all the time, we were taught that we should defer now because we're going to be in a lower tax bracket when we are older. The problem is that because of the cost of living and inflation and how much things cost, we're finding that we're really not in a lower tax bracket. We're still in about the same bracket we were in when we retired. So what we've done is we've saved up all this money, and now we're having to pay taxes on it. And as you know, when you get to be 72, you don't have any say-so in how much you take out because you have that required minimum distribution. And you may not need all of it, but you got to take it.
And a lot of times our deductions are gone. In fact,
Mhm.
the retiree community is kind of the perfect target for higher and increasing taxation. And it's not just the dollars that we saved along the way, it's all of the growth on those dollars that gets taxed at that point too. So if our tax rates, if our tax brackets, if our income does not drop pretty substantially to lower us through some of those thresholds, we could easily end up paying more even at the same rate. I'd rather have 200,000, but I'd rather pay tax on 100,000, right?
Right, that's right. And so, while the government doesn't target seniors, we are certainly the ideal group to pay taxes because we don't have a lot of say so in how we pay it. And everything we do, Social Security, Medicare drug cards, all those things are indexed for income. And so we can end up paying a lot more, even if we're not wealthy, we can end up paying more because of how much money we make. It's an interesting fact that, I think that in prior generations, because we had the pensions, we didn't save up a lot of money because the pension was supposed to take care of us. Between the pension and Social Security, most people were able to make ends meet. But because we've deferred all this money now, it's a new world for us. And so what we're seeing is those who have done a good job, saved a lot of money, are going to end up being penalized later as we have to take it out.
Well, John, as you are helping your clients and future minded savers and investors formulate that financially focused plan, are you giving them help and assistance in understanding not only where they are today, but also kind of forecasting out with them for them where they may fall in their tax bracket and rates into the future?
Oh yeah, Peter. We've sat down with them. We've shown them where they are on our tax map. We've shown them how much money they have before we reach the next level, and then what we tell them is that we want to meet with them before they do any major changes, because if they're going to make a move, we'd like to run that through the tax analysis and see where they're going to be, and then maybe plan it out. Maybe we don't buy the trip in November to Israel. We wait until January to pay for it. We're in another tax year. There's a lot of different things that we can do, a lot of ways that we can help them. Some people haven't taken advantage of what bracket they're in. So they may have a way to run in the current bracket where we could do a Roth conversion and it wouldn't cost them that much more in taxes.
So these are the opportunities then that we look
Yeah.
for. We try to maximize what we can control, minimize what we can't control, and leaving money out there at the discretion of the tax man to change the rules is absolutely something that we can't really control. I heard an interesting saying, and it made me think, but when it comes to retirement, the tax code is written in pencil. And so while you're helping people with these plans, you always got to be able to sort of pivot and adapt too.
Well, the one thing that's not in stone is taxes, because as you know, the new president now is actually tweaking with the tax system and is making changes, proposed changes. So there's nothing in granite with these taxes. They will change as the government needs money, as different policies go into effect. I mean, we saw that last year, and we're having some effects now where we changed the inherited IRA rule, where subsequent inheritance, the kids had to take it out over 10 years. Now they used to be able to take it out over their actuarial life. And I'm having that problem right now with a couple of clients trying to figure out how we're going to do what they want to do, but we've got to take this out over 10 years because they've inherited an IRA, and we have to take the money out and pay taxes on it without implicating their tax bracket and causing them a lot of different stress.
It may be a case where there's not a whole lot of options or strategies that can avoid that. And that's sort of when we default to the IRS's rules and guidelines and their plan. Generally, it's not in our best interest or in our favor. And that's why we try to choose to be proactive. That's why I think this financially focused plan, John, that you help put together for your clients and savers and investors who are retirement minded can provide substantial benefits in controlling and where morally, legally, and ethically possible, minimizing that tax bill.
Well, that's right, Peter. And you know as well as I do that because of the power of compound interest, that we have deferred little, but we've reaped a lot. And so we're going to pay a lot more taxes on what we saved than we ever really thought we would, just because of the growth and the way this market has taken off over the past years, and the money that our clients have paid. It's just a huge tax bill, and it's a huge tax problem for a lot of them.
Are there any last minute strategies still available for those procrastinators to consider, or even maybe if we've already filed taxes for this year, things that we should do in the present year, so that we can better control that tax bill next year or in all the years to come after that?
Well, certainly we should look at the Roth conversion to see if there's some way that we can convert some of our deferred money into a Roth IRA, because as you know, the Roth grows tax-free and it passes to subsequent heirs without that 10-year rule. So it leaves them with a much better situation. Also, life insurance is we're looking at more and more on that because of the long-term care capabilities of life insurance. Also, because it can give us a tax-free income if we put enough cash into it. And so those are just a few of the ways that we're looking. Also, we want to look at deductions. We want to look and make sure that you're taking every deduction you can. One of the big tax holes that a lot of people don't think about is if you're not on Medicare and you're using the Obamacare, if you don't get the income right with them, they will come back and penalize you. And we just had a tax client who ended up with a tax bill of $16,000 because they had claimed a daughter who subsequently left the house and filed her own taxes, so they couldn't claim it. So just the Obamacare, the health plan, caused them an additional $16,000 tax bill. Wow. So we should look at all those things, Peter.
Well, Kiplinger recently had an article of the 11 money moves to make in the decade before you retire. And being the only read the headlines generation, the subheadline there, pre-retirement steps include, John, two of the things that you just mentioned: reviewing what you expect to pay in taxes and how you will cover healthcare costs once you stop working. So those are the big ones, but they go into a little bit more detail.
Well, they do, Peter. They talk about, making sure you're saving as much, taking the deductions that you can take, stop spending on the kids. That's a big one, especially for a lot of my clients.
Hard to do.
Well, Peter, when they're 35, you need to let them go. There comes a point in time when they have to stand on their own 2 feet. Now, I know that your kids are still at home and you're still feeding them, but there's come a point in time when you're going to tell that boy that plays baseball to either go and get a job with a major league team or go to work. And you'd be amazed at the number of people that jeopardize their retirement plan by trying to take care of kids and grandkids. I mean, it's just amazing.
Have you seen that at the bottom line, end of the day, that is the cost of maybe caring for your kids too much, to a fault?
Well,
jeopardizing
I think so.
Your own retirement chances?
Yeah, because at some point in time that we have to have a little tough love. I mean, when we've got kids that's still able to work, they've got a long time to work. We're not going to be here for them the whole time. And if we don't get them on their own 2 feet and get them stabilized, then they'll expect a handout forever, and they can't get it because we're going to be gone. So we need tough love. We need not to jeopardize our plan because we're trying to take care of them. And in a lot of cases, it's been tough when I don't know how many clients I have who are paying the health insurance, paying the car insurance, and the kids have got a job and they're living in an apartment and they're 28 years old. Dad told me when I was 18 years old that if, I needed to get a job and I wanted to go to school, that was fine, but figure out how I was going to pay for it.
I did. Similar conversation with Mom. Yep. Yep.
Yeah. So, you can't take care of them forever. But I think the Kiplinger article, the thing that was, I got the most out of that article that you sent me was the fact that, we haven't ever done retirement. This is a new thing, and it's a hard transition. And so what we need to do is we need to think about what we want in retirement, visualize our retirement, and then plan out our retirement. But don't overspend, don't make big changes, do things like that. I thought that was the main thing I got out of that Kippinger article, was that we need to focus on what we want to get out of retirement. It's a new area.
Another one that it mentions is know your retirement number. And John, that's an area where a lot of people have a lot of fog and mystery on what that number really is. And it's something that you've talked about on the program many times. That is what you help people work to calculate and figure out. When can I retire? How much do I need to retire? What can I expect from my retirement savings once we get there?
Well, that's right. And that's why we do the focus income plan. The financial focus income plan looks at what you're planning on spending, and we're using either 80% or 100% of your salary now, and how much money we're going to need, and maximizing how we take it out. That plan will lay that out for you and show you how much more we need to do in order to get there, or what changes we need to make to our present allocation so that we can make that plan work for you. And then we, as I said on the show many times, Peter, we want to monitor that plan ongoing. It's not a one-time do and leave it alone. Things change.
Well, if you would like to get that financial focus income plan, or the holistic plan, looking at all aspects, income, investments, healthcare, legacy, taxes, give Gulf Coast Financial Services a call, or click the link anywhere around this video. Always encourage you to like, subscribe, share, and ring that bell so that you are notified when future editions of Financial Focus become available. But if you'd like to get that plan, there's no cost, there's no obligation, there's never any benefit to procrastinating, no downside to placing this call, no need to meet in person to get that process started. John and his team fully capable and familiar with the virtual technologies to get the conversation going and to get your plan in action. A snapshot of where you are currently. It's not 1,000 pages of financial jargon, simple, easy to understand language, and some actionable steps for you to optimize your future and your outcome, maximize what you can control, minimize what you can't. If you'd like that financial focus plan, pick up the phone, give a call now, 386-755-9018, 386-755-9018, 386-755-9018, or again, just click the link in the description below the video and you'll be on your way there. John, always a pleasure. I think that, throughout the course of this program, we've talked about every single one of the items on this Kiplinger list of 11 money moves to make in the decade before you retire. And then we've extended that with probably just as many after retirement. So a lot of work to be done here once the work is over, or in planning for the work to be over.
That's right. That's right, Peter. And it's been great to be here with you. I hope we got some good tidbits out there for people listening, and I hope they will call and let us help them with that financial focus plan.
Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and tune in for more financial focus by visiting GulfCoastFinancial.net. The information presented on this program is provided for informational purposes only, without warranty of accuracy, completeness, or suitability for a particular purpose. This program is not intended to be and does not constitute financial, investment, legal, or tax advice. This information is general in nature and not specific enough to be construed as advice. You should not make any decision based on the information presented on this program without independent consultation with an appropriately licensed professional or competent advisor. Investment in securities or the market involves a potential risk for loss of principal. Trading, therefore, may not be suitable for all listeners. Annuity guarantees are based solely on the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing company. Withdrawals of growth from annuities may be taxable as ordinary income in the year it is taken. Individuals should review contracts for specific details of the product's features and costs. Early withdrawals may subject the owner to penalties, fees, or taxes. John Kuykendall is registered with and securities are offered through Kovac Securities Inc., member FINRA SIPC, found online at www.kovacsecurities.com. Advisory services are offered through Gulf Coast Financial Services Inc., a registered investment advisor in Florida. Gulf Coast Financial Services Inc. is not affiliated with Kovac Securities Inc. or Kovac Advisors Inc. Past performance is not indicative of future results. All investing involves risk. Investment decisions should be based on your own goals, time horizon, and tolerance for risk. Due to various factors including changing market conditions and/or applicable laws, the content may no longer be reflective of current opinions or positions.